I mean, there's still been some solid finishes. It's just that one time where he can get to victory lane just hasn't been there yet. I mean, it could happen tonight.
It very well could, and the guy who was in contention for last year's win at Charlotte, he'll start 6th tonight, another GTR driver. This time it's Jacob Nelson out of Clarksville, Tennessee. Didn't race at Iowa last week, so we'll see what he's got this week.
Well, yes, he's coming back. He's going to come back and hopefully have some momentum, have some confidence considering the absence at Iowa, and also as well considering he finished 2nd place last year here at Charlotte. He wants that revenge. He wants to get into victory lane this time around.
Speaking of guys in victory lane, Daytona winner Chase Beatty starts in 7th in his Eclipse E-Racing Chevy out of Lawton, Tennessee. And we'll just continue along here as we're still in pace laps in the background. We'll take you to the green flag ASAP here, but in 8th we've got the Atlantic Motorsports Ford of Darcy Ford, again the reigning Earl Ross Cup champion, and the guy who's looking to get into the win column here sooner rather than later took the Season 1 race at Charlotte, it should be noted. And rounding out the top 10, we have the number 29 JMW Ford of Jonathan War out of Saugerties, New York. Sponsorship from JMW Construction and Tree Removal. Nice start for him to get into the top 10, and rounding out that top group is the number 93, also another JMW entry, this being Tom Janikowski out of Appleton, Wisconsin. And Janikowski, if he can translate this into a good finish, he might be able to get himself back into the Rookie of the Year competition as we go back live just in time as soon as I find the right scene here. I think we're just about ready to take the green flag. It looks like they're going through turns 3 and 4. I think we may have timed that pretty well here.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we necessarily planned it that way, but we can say we did just to make it look good. And I tell you, this race, there's no way it's not going to look good here as we go green.
Boogity, boogity, boogity.
We are underway here in tonight's Racing Carolina 300. So stage number 1 tonight, they've already done 2 pace laps, so it's going to be 47 laps of competition here, and leading them off the line is the 97 of Ty Higginbotham, and he's already built up a little bit of a gap, but that's getting swallowed up pretty quickly.
Getting in a bit of a pack. There's some battles there through 2nd through about 5th or 6th, I believe that was. Bob Drew the 3rd, kind of there on the outside. Still a bit of a battle going on there for 5th with, I believe that was Nelson.
Yep, Nelson's in that pack for sure.
And there's still battling there, and Nelson's going to take 5th place successfully. Bit of a, I guess kind of a train pack or whatever there for the top 6 cars, and a bit of a pack behind them as well. I believe that's led by Darcy Ford.
Yep.
Yeah, cars are separating themselves for the most part here to begin this first stage. I mean, it's only stage 1. There's still plenty of time for things to happen. There's one car kind of getting off there and coming through the front stage.
I think that was the 18 of Mike Nickens we were seeing in the background out of Jacksonville, Florida. Meanwhile, his GTR teammates, Mercado and Nelson, they're both running in the top 5. But they're chasing the 3 Tornado Alley guys. It's Higginbotham, Jameson, and Peden in the top 3 still. Well, obviously just 2 laps competition in. But still, that's an early top 3 for that particular trio.
It's giving me kind of those vibes of that one. I know this is not a super speedway, but that one Talladega race in real life where those 4 Stewart Haas cars just stayed and they tandem packed together all the way until the end, and they almost got defeated by the rest of the field. But there was a car on that team that still managed to get the victory. Kind of unrelated to this, but I'm getting those vibes to start off here, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, very, very early still, though, it has to be said.
Exactly.
And now, the other thing to note here, fuel mileage, we're looking at about 30 laps, so that's going to guarantee a green flag pit stop in every one of the stages on top of the caution. So how do you think these guys play it strategy-wise?
Well, I mean, considering like we said, top 3 is Tornado Alley Racing. Are they all going to come in together? Are they all going to try and stay in that pack together? Maybe that'll be the strategy for this race. If all 3 of them can manage to stay together in some form by the end, will they be the 3 that fight for that checker flag? It's possible, but at the same time, they could end up somehow separating themselves and everything just collapses. Anything's possible.
And again, with the added incentive of, that extra stage tonight as well.
Yes.
Like, that's just more on the table for these guys to go for. As we continue along here, we're going to watch things from John Peden's perspective. He's running third, exactly where he started. In fact, very minimal movement there in the top 6. I think Mercado might have jumped a couple of positions, and then Bob Drew the third jumped back.
Mercado is looking close on Peden every now and then through the turns, but those top 3 teammates are just remaining together. They're not really trying anything, moving positions and stuff. They're just kind of staying together, trying to stay calm. Maybe they're just kind of trying to find a rhythm right now, and it appears that Mercado is actually falling back there a bit, and a bit of distance between Peden and Jameson now getting a little bit close. There's that 3-car pack, and then there's Mercado and Nelson, whoever's back there.
Bob Drew the third, chief among that pack. At the tail of that pack, as a matter of fact, 6 running in 6th. And Bob Drew looking, again, pretty good so far. Looking like he wants to hang with this lead pack for, well, again, very, very early on. But as we said, he's had a couple of good races here the last couple times out. And the Miamisburg, Ohio native could very well be in contention at the end, as we saw Jose Mercado have just a little kiss against the wall at the start-finish line. Maybe a move on Peden.
Yeah, he forced Peden up high, but it doesn't look like it's going to affect him a whole lot, although Mercado might get a very good run here off of turn 2. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, though. Those top 3 cars of Tornado Alley, almost a separation with one of them, but they're remaining together pretty well. Nelson trying to trap Mercado. Okay, a little bit loose there.
Yeah, that would be a couple of teammates getting each other, or Nelson getting Mercado loose there a little bit.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I was temporarily distracted as we go to Jacob Nelson here now. Distracted by the notion of maybe Mercado and Peden coming together, mainly because I was thinking of the Florida Man headlines that could come from that, because they're both from Florida. And that's where my head goes sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. But it's right back to the track here, where it looks like Darcy Ford's caught that lead pack. It's now a group of 7 pulling away.
Yeah, I get Iowa Stage 2 vibes are coming back. It appears pretty early for this.
Hey, I'm not going to argue with that.
Oh, exactly. No, I'm not arguing about that. I am not going to argue about that at all. It's kind of a case where the drivers are just trying to let the laps go through, try and get to the end a little bit faster, because this first stage won't make too much sense, at least right now, because we still have plenty of time until we can get to that point, the green checker flag, get those stage points.
Indeed so, and it looks like Mike Nickens might have just made a move on Chase Beatty here for 8th place, as this is 8 through 10 you're seeing, Nickens, Beatty, and Corbin McCauley, with Jonathan War trying to catch up to them, kind of running on his own right there in 11th. But again, Beatty, he's part of that group that we've been talking about, those GTR guys. A lot of them we're seeing at the front of the field, and of course Beatty won the season opener at Daytona, as we've mentioned probably a few times now. So don't be surprised if you see the 25 potentially hanging in there toward the end, I would say, as we go along now to, well, we'll bring it back to the lead pack, and at the back of that lead pack is the number 64, Darcy
Mercado,
Ford, running in 7th, and yeah, 2 of the Florida men looking to get together there, and it looked like Mercado may have kicked up a little bit of dirt there coming through the start finish, and I thought it was going to go 3 wide, but a little bit more depth there than I thought. But while you see Higginbotham and Jameson kind of pulling away here, separating themselves a little bit, but
Peden's fighting right back to the inside. Mercado jumps high.
Has to be said, though, it's been all, by and large, pretty clean here so far.
It's pretty clean, especially for this kind of pack racing on this kind of track. Oh no, there
as
is.
I say that,
you jinxed it, man. You jinxed it.
I absolutely jinxed that. Yeah, but I mean, just a little bit of a bump here, as we're getting word that Christian Worsham had a disconnection on account of his power flickering, so that's gonna put him out. So that's the end of the double zeros evening, really, before it got started.
For that early in this race, that is super unfortunate. Wow.
Indeed. So
he hasn't had the luckiest season so far.
No, it's
not at all.
It's a bad deal for the native of Deal, Maryland, as we go along now to Jonathan War. And it sounds like Dan Cudmore and Jason Butler may have come together a little further down the field. Didn't quite get to there as we're continuing through the field as we're watching Jonathan War running in 11th.
Yeah, I believe that's 11th. There's those other 3 cars right in front of him.
Yeah, that's what we were kind of talking about earlier. War trying to catch up to that chase pack, and lurking behind him, it would appear, is the 47 of AJ Knickel, that blue and green. But for now, we'll check in on Tom Janikowski. He started in 10th tonight, but
It's a bit of hood damage.
yeah, it looks like... No, go ahead.
I mean, that's the thing, though. There might be a difference between visible damage and physical damage. Don't let that deceive you, but at the same time, we don't actually know. That's interesting to know.
Well,
See?
I mean, the guy who brought up that point happens to share the same last name as you, in Corbin McCauley, who we're watching
exactly, at Mo Sport.
Yeah, that was...
Canadian Tire.
Yep. That was where we first kind of got wind of that possibility kind of existing here. McCauley, meanwhile, running a fairly clean 10th here tonight. Started in 11th, but has gained that early place, perhaps on account of some Janikowski misfortune, if I had to guess. As we'll continue on through the field, we'll get to the number 20 of Hunter Young, driving for Atlantic Motorsports out of St. Catharines, Ontario. Soon to be hosting the Canada Summer Games as part of the Niagara region, so if you're into the sport tourism, that's definitely something worth checking out this summer. And Young, I thought he might have had a little brush with the wall there, but it looks like he held on. He's tucked in behind Andy Hurdle right now, and he's trying to hold off the JMW number 14 of Dan Mattiello out of Warwick, New York, with the aforementioned Janikowski trying to get in on that battle as well. So while there are kind of pockets of separation on this mile and a half, there's, some decent battles here as well.
But yeah, some cars are together, some are just kind of on their own. It is what it is. That's how it works here at Charlotte.
And the guy who's looking to figure out how to make it work is the number 87 of Travis Tyson, the Eclipse E-Racing driver out of Kingsport, Tennessee. And Tyson, he's looking to see a top 10 for the first time in a while as...
It's a car on pit road.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I saw some maroon. I think it was Andy Hurdle, but we'll have to confirm. I didn't hear anything from the Discord race control as we continue along to Mike Nickens, who appears to be running in about, I'm going to call that 8th place. Yeah.
That would be correct.
Yay, we can math here. As we go through turns 1 and 2. And I mean, there should be a little disclaimer next to that. We can't always do math. So that's a small victory for us as we...
No one's perfect at it, man.
Yep, nobody's perfect as we go along to the number 12 of Mike Marini, the Eclipse E-Racing Toyota out of Thunder Bay, Ontario. And looking like... I'm not sure what the inspiration behind the theme is. I instinctively think of those little candies that you see, like the black licorice candies. Again, I can't confirm that.
What does that have to do with the bright colors, though? What would that be from? What would you mean?
I mean, the pink coloring certainly is in there. I'd have to look it up to confirm, but, just as... I would have to take a dive in there, as I thought Marini was going to take a dive into pit lane, but it looks like he's going to stay out for now.
Well, yeah, he's got some pretty good right side damage, and there was a car coming along the apron there. And
that's his fellow Thunder Bay native Kevin Daigle.
Pit window?
Yeah, we could be into that pit window. Yeah, we're seeing a number of drivers come in, so that's Daigle you're seeing, Mike Marini, Travis Tyson, and Dan Cudmore there in the background. And I think it was Andy Hurdle we were seeing before, as he's kind of on his own on the track right now.
He's just relaxing.
Oh, yeah. And Jason Butler's coming in as well. We got that word. He's part of our Discord race control unit as we go from the 7 to the 77, that being Reggie Kime out of Muskogee, Oklahoma. Top Gun Racing Ford looking to do some damage. Corbin McCauley coming into pit lane as well. So I think we're kind of smack dab in the middle of that window here now.
We got some time has passed. Doesn't surprise me. Pretty much there.
Indeed not, as we'll continue along here. And Dan Mattiello, he's pitting. There's movement in the car, so that means that he's still good. He's still connected here. Darcy Ford headed into pit lane, so I think we're about to see the leaders come in, and thought we were seeing AJ Knickel come in as well, but that was the wrong side of the track.
Seems a little slow. He seemed a little slow there coming along the front stretch.
Based on Jacob Nelson coming out now, it looks like the leaders generally probably pitted around the same time because Nelson was part of that lead group, and we heard Darcy Ford just going into pit lane as well. And that looked like Kime ducking in. Knickel headed in now too. As we'll check in now for the first time tonight with the number 36 of Brandon Reed, the Red Dirt Racing Toyota out of Fort Worth, Texas. And it looks like he's tucked in behind Kevin Daigle. Daigle, we know, has made his pit stop. We saw him make his way out. And yeah, Reed's not 100% sure right now. But again, he's another guy who's on the outside looking in playoff-wise. And after tonight, we're going to be at the halfway point of this regular season. So things are just going to get tighter and tighter in terms of opportunity. 20 to go in this opening stage. As we'll continue along now to the aforementioned Kevin Daigle in the 85. And let's see, I heard something here. It sounds like AJ Knickel and Chase Beatty might have gotten tangled up in pit lane.
There is some hood damage there on Beatty's car.
Indeed so. And yeah, not 100% sure what went on there. I'm not sure if maybe there was a disconnect, because I heard someone leave the Discord after, and I know AJ is a guy who's part of that race control group. But we'll see as we go around, as we check in on another guy who is helpful on the reporting side of things, the number 10 of Jason Butler, the 519 E-Racing Chevy. As Higginbotham and Jameson are emerging, they took a bit of a longer stint, obviously, 20 to go in the stage. That would suggest probably that they've gone just about to the end here. As we're just about through the field here, we're getting one quick look at Dan Cudmore before we get to the disconnected Christian Worsham, and that brings us back, or I thought it was bringing us back to tonight's pole sitter, Ty Higginbotham, but instead it's the 75 of Darcy Cudmore. I'm not sure if that was a late entry. I'm not sure if I saw that on the qualifying list, but at any rate, now we're back to our pole sitter, the 97 of Higginbotham. And we'll have to do our best to thank you, Darcy Ford. Jacob Nelson is your leader. So let's go to the 9. So it looks like Nelson is your leader, Ford in second, Mercado in third. And based on the red front, I think that might be Mike Nickens in fourth. So a little bit of a shakeup.
Do these drivers somehow manage to get by this potential strategy of the Tornado Alley cars? Because they're not up. If they're not up there, like as you were saying, Nelson's the leader. Those other cars there are, I'm guessing, the rest of the top 5. That is surprising.
Yeah, it might be a factor of the tires going though late in the stint.
The thing is, whenever we went to Higginbottom there, I saw hood damage. Like half the field now apparently has some visible damage somewhere on them. I don't know. This game is not great with pit road. There's glitches everywhere, so I mean maybe some drivers are just getting screwed over. It's not their fault.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't be the strangest thing we've seen in NASCAR heat over the last 2.5 years, whether it's heat 4 or heat 5.
I believe that's Jameson back there in 5th, by the looks of it, all the way back there.
And let's just see if we can get a backwards camera to get a good view of that. Yeah, that green front.
Yeah, green and blue or purple. Whatever.
Yep.
I'm partially colorblind.
And I mean, it's a tiny speck there as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, the top 5, they're separated by like 2/3 of that straightaway. So.
Yeah.
But if you're the number 9 of Jacob Nelson, you got clear track ahead, but your mirrors might be full of red here soon enough.
There's 3. Okay, 14 laps to go, we are hearing, and Darcy, well, thing is, yeah, Nelson's right there in the lead, but Darcy Ford actually seems to be getting closer and closer as the laps wind down, and then Mercado and Mike Nickens, it's Mike Nickens, yep. Yeah, those two other cars there as well are catching up within kind of a draft tandem situation there. So we could see a 4-car battle for the end of this first stage.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Jameson's catching up too. Don't leave him out of this yet.
And unfortunately, in this top 4 equation for Darcy Ford, he doesn't have help. The other 3 are all GTR Motorsports drivers. So that could be problematic here for the 64 potentially.
Yeah, he's messing around with the team strategies.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
As notably, his only teammate in the field tonight is the 20 of Hunter Young, who we saw a little bit earlier.
They're coming up to lap Darcy Cudmore here, and Jameson looks like he's catching up. I mean, we saw how fast he was at the very start of this stage. I mean, the thing is, he was with Ty Higginbottom in kind of that draft thing or whatever, but like, there was that one point where he and Higginbottom both like shot away from the rest of the cars. So like see how close he's getting there. And Darcy Ford now going for the lead. We're getting a battle here as we are coming very close to the final 10 laps of this first stage. And he's in the wall.
That comes with Darcy Cudmore moving out of the way, and as you say, Nelson into the wall. And yeah, your new leader Darcy Ford here, 11 laps to go in this opening stage. Again, the first of 4 stages tonight. So if we're already here in stage 1, where are we going from here?
There's still 3 more, man. There's still 3 more.
Roughly the same length, and again, we'll be we'll see the green flag pit stop as we mentioned. So
of course,
maybe the strategies adapt as we move along. I mean, it looks like whatever Tornado Alley tried in stage 1 didn't necessarily work, as they're now 5 through 7 instead of 1 through 3, but could be playing a long game here too.
I mean, so someone could play the consistency strategy and be able to prevail on that. Someone might be able to have a case of rebounding. Like someone might come out of it complete nowhere at the very end where we were not expecting them, where they were having completely different thoughts, decisions, opinions, strategies, or whatever in like the earlier stages. Like there's so many things that could be said right now. So many.
A lot of things that could be said.
Like Jameson,
don't necessarily know how to say them.
Jameson, what is in your car, man? You're fast. Jeez.
Yeah, he's moved up to 4th. Jacob Nelson dropping to 5th there now. Just kind of tucking in at the back of that lead line, although John Peden and Ty Higginbotham still lurking. As, hey, we've got a familiar battle that we've seen plenty of in the first 2 seasons. Ford versus Mercado.
Here he comes.
And Ford going high, Mercado trying to wedge in low. He might get some help from Nickens here. And Jameson might give him a bit of a boost here too. Basically a drag race down the back straight.
Jameson trying to go low. Woo. Oh, Ford's in the wall. It's falling back.
Just a little bit of a touch there. And again.
Almost.
Yeah, it looks like Ford's going to fall back into 5th here. So just a little brush, but everybody's going so fast.
They're scrambling everywhere. How are we back to this pack already? How?
That's everybody just finding the speed.
They're 3 wide.
They are 3 wide. And again, this is stage 1, folks. Stage 1 of 4.
Jeez.
Meanwhile, while we were talking there, I wanted to hear a comment that Corbin McCauley made. I couldn't quite catch it, though. Did you?
I heard something, but I have no idea what was actually said.
I don't know.
I was too focused on this.
Yeah, I don't know if he was necessarily impressed with the ride that he had here tonight, but again, we might have to check with him between stages. We might have an inside source, who knows, but definitely someone with the inside track here on this opening stage is Jose Mercado. At least it looks like it right now. Nickens there in 2nd.
3 wide again. They're getting tight off of turn 4. Holy crap.
Yeah, 3 through 7, not much separation there as Mercado continues to lead.
We basically have Jose Mercado, a kind of stage dominator through these first couple of races, in most of them. And then there's Mike Nickens, who's come out of nowhere here. He's trying to show himself off, show what he's really got, show his best, because he hasn't really done a whole lot of that through these first couple of races. Maybe it's kind of a progression thing, you know. He's trying to figure out his racecraft, you know. But yeah, he's trying to be the ultimate underdog here. While there's a bunch of other cars here that you would think are obvious to be up here. So it's quite the story for just the first stage.
And now they're coming up to lap traffic toward the end of this stage. It looks like Dan Cudmore there first to be picked off, followed by Jason Butler.
And it appears Higginbottom's going for second.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't talk.
Higginbotham trying to get that inside line on Nickens, and it looks like Nickens will kind of get forced up a little bit higher. That's going to allow Higginbotham through, John Peden through, and Nickens will tuck back into fourth. Maybe a little touch off the wall with the rear wheel. And yeah, I think that's all lead cars as Jacob Nelson tries to catch up to that pack, but it looks like it's a pack of 6 that separated themselves here now. As Mercado continues to lead the stage, Higginbotham trying to go inside, 2 to go at the line.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the lap car's Cudmore. Dan Cudmore, you might want to get the heck out of the way here, man.
I mean, he literally started this thing, so hopefully he'll have the sense. Oh dear, he's going high.
Cudmore.
Oh man.
What are you doing?
And he is out of the way of Mercado and Higginbotham. He has gone high. He's got, Peden with a little bit of an accidental block there up top.
White flag for this first stage.
Yeah, absolutely a white flag here as Butler, it looked like, tagged the wall ahead. So we'll see if these leaders catch him, maybe potentially use him as a pick to make a pass.
And there's a lot of blocking back there. Darcy Ford trying to get those second place points. He wants that extra point there to get 9 instead of 8. Jason Butler's going to hold up high here. Oh, he's going to block Higginbottom.
Yeah, that could give Ford a run. And
he's in the wall.
Yeah, Mercado is going to survive here to take stage 1. And again, that's stage 1. What else can we expect here?
Have you ever?
For one stage, that's, as you say.
Do this. We need the same thing for every stage, guys. Please give us this thing for every other stage, please.
I mean, we're commentators and we're supposed to have words for these things. Nothing's really coming right now. As we saw Jose Mercado going for yet another stage win, and he picks that right up. And we've got our top 10 here. I think you've got the photo there as well.
Of
the top 10?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's in our little Facebook group chat. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and kind of rhyme that off here as we go along, as stage 2 is going to kick off right about now. As it looks like, well, we go back to our pole sitter, Ty Higginbotham. That's just the way things go in the NASCAR Heat Games, for those who might be wondering. Mercado leads them off the line to begin stage 2. Peden with the inside line in second. Darcy Ford there in third. And Higginbotham running side by side with Nickens. And, no chaos there at least. But again, we've already done a broadcast jinx tonight, so what would another one be, really?
We're just coming to lap 2 here, man.
Yeah, lap 2 out of 47 in this second stage, so essentially the same length of competition racing as last time around. As we'll check in, or we'll move it over to Leo Jameson now, running in, I believe, 6th. And so, again, with this stage being a little bit longer than we've become accustomed to, again, we'll go ahead and give you that top 10 from the opening stage. As mentioned, it is the 41 of Jose Mercado who takes the opening stage here tonight, with Darcy Ford coming in second. Rounding out the top 3, Jonathan Peden. In fourth, we have tonight's pole sitter, Ty Higginbotham, of course, last week's winner at Iowa. And rounding out the top 5, picking up a nice haul of 6 points, the number 18 of Mike Nickens. And then we've got series leader Leo Jameson, who is 6th. Actually, that lead will change with the point totals here. We'll get into that in a minute. But again, the entirely too early edition here continues with Jacob Nelson finishing 7th in the stage. Corbin McCauley picks up 3 points for 8th. 2 points headed Bob Drew III's way as he comes home 9th. And rounding out the top 10, Solid run there from Jonathan War. He's one of those guys who's very much in the thick of that playoff battle that we were talking about in the pre-race. As we will move it right along here. Well, really the camera stays with the lead field, and it's with our leader, the 53 of Jonathan Peden. Surprise, surprise, a Tornado Alley guy at the top.
Go figure.
But again, we've seen just how quickly these things can change, and already I think that lead group of 7 building up a little bit of separation, but a little train of 4 trying to get to the back there as well.
Yeah, kind of similar to the first stage there. It's starting off a little bit kind of trainy racing, you know.
For sure.
Maybe a couple battles. But I mean, once that pit window comes along, and then after that, and then everyone, and then hopefully all the cars get back together. Man, have I already lost my voice?
No, you're good.
It's only been one stage.
Yeah. I mean, in the words of the great Bob Cole, everything is happening. So that's just kind of the best synopsis of how stage 1 went in the early parts of stage 2 as Peden continues to lead. Mercado, I thought, might have had a look high. Might be a little bit loose, actually. I'm not sure if that's car handling or a glitch in the game, but certainly the 53 looking rather smooth ahead of him.
It's kind of a 3-car breakaway with Peden, Mercado, and Darcy Ford. A bit of a battle there for 4th place. I believe that's Nelson.
Yeah, that looks like Nelson there.
Nelson and someone else. Couldn't really tell who that was.
Yep.
And now here comes Mike Nickens there, taking 5th place successfully on the inside.
And again, everything's been fairly solid here by and large. Just highly, highly competitive.
Exactly, man.
As we'll go to that secondary pack now, where we'll find Bob Drew the third. I believe that'll put him in 8th place, and indeed it is. And again, a solid run here early on from the 6. And yeah, just trying to hold on. I mean, a pack of 7, pretty good odds of catching a pack of 3.
Yeah, Bob Drew was a little bit quiet in the first stage, but maybe he wants to start battling up with these guys now. That's completely all right.
And I mean, he did pick up a couple of points in stage number 1 anyway.
Oh yeah, 9th place. Yes.
Which seems like as good a time as any for us to bring in what I'm going to call the ETEPs, I guess, the entirely too early points standings. So we'll bring that live here. So as you can see, Jonathan Peden takes over the overall series lead, a couple of points up on Tornado Alley teammate Leo Jameson. Of course, the 3 teammates there still occupying the top 3. Chase Beatty in 4th. Jose Mercado is the quote-unquote best of the rest so far. Most points without the win. 37 laps remaining here in stage number 2.
Ever since Peden had that dominant performance and victory at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, it's like ever since then he's been almost perfect. Like, because now he's over Jameson, who's been more the consistent driver with obviously his win at Auto Club, or as my mind thinks, Knickel. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, we're not gonna let that go, are we? So.
Never.
All right. So again, while we're looking at the top 10, we should probably do some, due diligence and take a look at that playoff battle toward the bottom of the playoff table here, as well as we're watching Jacob Nelson on screen. But again, not much separation here between now 14 and 18, just 5 points.
We have 14. Well, I mean, yeah, 14th place is just over 10 points behind 13th there, which is Mike Nickens in 13th. Jonathan Moore and Travis Tyson currently tied for 14th and 15th. Andy Hurdle currently holds the final spot by just 2 points over Keith Miller, 3 points over, I believe it was Tom Janikowski.
Yep.
And then behind Janikowski, there is kind of a gap there, but hey, there's still many races left here in this regular season. We're pretty much we're halfway, so
yep.
Another 5 races. Yeah.
And of note, Keith Miller, one of the drivers not racing tonight, along with the 99 of Marcus Wright and a smattering of others. We had a field of, I believe, 25. Yep. We saw 24 on our qualifying order, but again, I think Darcy Cudmore was a late add to that.
Yeah, chose not to qualify, or maybe just showed up late, but he's here, so.
He's here and he's on track.
Exactly, that's all that matters.
And we're going to check in now on Chase Beatty, who I believe is in 12th. if my math is right. Yeah, I see that lead pack. We had Macaulay in 10th a little bit earlier, so that would be Young and Beatty battling here on track. Those two kind of separating themselves a little bit. I think Janikowski's trying to get to the back of them. But right now, these two are kind of getting to have their own little battle. A couple of guys who joined in Season 2. Unfortunately, didn't have the best seasons, sometimes on account of connection issues for both, but everything seems to be running smoothly for them for now. Knock, knock.
Well, yeah, Beatty got his first win there at Daytona. He's been kind of quiet now, but that doesn't mean he's not going to still go for it at times. Like, no. He's been kind of the quiet. He's keeping it quiet and conservative. He's been kind of a consistent top 10, 15 driver. Yep. Yeah, that's really all there is to say with him. I mean, the thing is, though, don't leave him out as a possible contender for other races as this regular season goes on, because he does show the speed.
He absolutely does, as we see another guy who's proven to be solid just about anywhere he goes. We're with Darcy Ford now in the number 64. 31 laps to go in this second of 4 stages. Jonathan Peden appears to still be your leader. Mercado there in second.
Here comes Ford for second on Mercado. No, Mercado's still going to be clear of him. It looked like something would have happened there. Yeah, Mercado's in the wall. It kind of pulls Darcy Ford back a little bit, but they still remain together. That might give Peden kind of a gap there, as there is a car in the grass I saw there coming into turn 1. Yeah, it's a 3-car breakaway, and then there's, I believe that's Nelson or some car there back and forth that's kind of alone, and then there's a bit of a pack from 5th onward.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard it in the race control there a moment ago. I know Darcy had mentioned to Jose that there was a potential lag there with his Ford.
Yeah.
Could be one of those nights there with it's the 2 Florida men up front here in Charlotte.
He's trying to, he moved him up.
And
he goes to second.
Have to think that'd be a move Darcy Ford's wanted to make for a little while now, just
yes,
in the name of self-preservation as much as anything else, if the talk of the lag does happen to be a thing there, as it looks like it's Ty Higginbotham trying to catch up to that lead.
Oh yeah, that's Higginbotham, not Nelson. Yeah, Nelson is most likely back in that little bit of a pack back there.
And let's just see if Jonathan War is anywhere near that pack.
Behind Chase
he might have been.
It's behind Beatty.
So that would be 13 and 14 here. And a little bit of a miscommunication there by the sounds of it between Dan Cudmore and, not Corbin Macaulay, as he hits a wall instead. 27 laps to go. Macaulay will fall off this little train that was building up.
It's only stage 2, buddy. You still got time. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, Daryl. As we move along now to Hunter Young. Again, we'll just try and cycle through the field kind of quickly here to get back to our lead pack here. Obviously, a little bit longer stages here tonight. That allows us to give a little bit more of a focus to some of the battles. Maybe a little bit further down the track that we don't usually get to. And this looks like a pretty good one here, the 20 and 25. They've been together for a couple of laps now. As we'll just wait it out to see if Beatty's able to make a move out of turn 2. Beatty certainly looking for a way around that 20, but it looks like Young's going to hold on to the position for now. Just not quite close enough there, even if he was to go onto the inside line, although Beatty might be having a look. And we got, I think that was Macaulay through the grass. I'm sure he will absolutely not hear about that one afterward for whatever reason.
I did get some word earlier that it seems like he is kind of having some handling problems. He's like giving it all of his might, but just nothing's just been really working for him. Again, it's still early.
And as you're talking there, we've got some leaders pitting here. As you see, Darcy Ford, Ty Higginbotham, Jose Mercado, Jacob Nelson, Bob Drew III, all coming in together.
Yeah, it looked like Bob Drew actually kind of struggled there. It looked like a last-second maneuver down to that lane, almost.
And
that was interesting.
For this group here, I would say they're probably, based on the last lap count I had, I'd say they're effectively splitting the stage in half here. As Ford's first in the box. That's a game
jeez.
glitch, by the way. Bob Drew the third. Definitely a more skilled driver as we've seen, as we see Warren Janikowski coming in as well. But let's see if we can find someone who actually is on the track. There we've got somebody. Well, on the track has been debatable the last couple of times we've gone to him, unfortunately, but he's still
I don't know what he's
hanging on here.
What's he going to think of us saying that? Jeez.
Well, I think he'd be the first to acknowledge it, to be quite honest. He's one of the more frank and transparent guys that I've chatted with, to be quite honest, that being Corbin McCauley here in the Red Dirt Racing Chevy. And again, decidedly not his night so far, nor Jason Butler theirs. It looked like he had a little brush with the grass. We saw Mike Nickens headed into pit lane. They're right ahead of McCauley coming through. As we'll continue our way through the field. Well, we're not going too far as the... Well,
all right, yeah, Corb McCauley's coming to pit road by the sounds of it.
He got the chirp, so yeah, I may or may not hear about that one after the fact. So we'll see how that one goes. Luckily, I don't have to deal with it directly as McCauley comes into pit lane. Beatty and Young following right behind as it looks like the leaders are going through.
Lead pack. Jonathan Peden looks to be the leader.
It certainly looked that way from the background anyway, and again, not really a whole lot of variance in the strategies there from the top five, so perhaps not a huge surprise. Maybe Peden did something a little bit different than the others to jump them in pit lane, but that could be a discussion for another time here as we see Travis Tyson coming through. And again, we're right in the middle of that second pit window here, so hard to really definitively dictate positions, it has to be said. We'll do our best to report as soon as we find out once everyone kind of cycles through. And yeah, Corbin McCauley coming out of pit lane. There he is in the background. And yeah, just yeah, I'll probably be hearing a little bit about that one after the fact. But here's Mike Nickens anyway coming through to complete another lap. We saw him coming a little bit later on for pit lane anyway. 20 laps remaining in the stage. As it looks like Reggie Kimes coming out of pit lane. Jameson as well.
What?
And it sounds like sounds like Dan Cudmore may have muffed something there or mixed something up through pit lane.
We're hearing a little laughter.
Yeah. You know what? Let's put that live. We're just getting through the end of the chat. I think you heard a little bit of a laugh there at the end. That's just kind of the nature of the chat right now. And I mean, despite the laughter, obviously everything not quite hunky-dory there, but, or I guess in Dan Cudmore's case, unfortunately, we were talking about the sore back there last week from carrying the series. It might be hunchy-dory, I guess, now, but... are
we starting to turn to dark humor all of a sudden?
Hey. I think he would love that, as, I mean, you got to laugh your way through stuff like that. Man, that was what happened that? That was Chase Beatty.
Where did he come from there? Go back.
Well, I'm trying to get back to the lead pack.
What was
that? So let's do a reset here as we saw Chase Beatty just kind of like he wasn't a Tornado Alley guy, but he certainly looked like he was going through a twister there as we're back to our lead pack. Again, not 100% sure what happened.
We're going to need 2 interviews tonight, to be honest.
Yeah, this is...
What?
There's a lot going on here. But, you know, certainly a guy who's keeping his nose clean is the 53 of John Peden. He's your leader. We're with Darcy Ford right now in third. 16 laps remaining in stage 2 as we try to, you know, maybe calm things down a little bit.
I don't think that's possible.
Yeah. I don't know if you've ever seen the Joe Schmo show or not. That might predate you. But the big meme from those days was the guy, you hear his little quote on the end of Spike TV shows, "What is going on?" That's basically how I'm feeling right now as I watch this. As we...
I'm personally, like, it feels like the real life Coca-Cola 600 from this year, because with the new, obviously with the new Gen 6 cars, Gen 8 cars, Cup Series at this track, the race was full of chaos. It didn't end until like, I don't know, like what was it, 1 a.m. or something. There was multiple crashes, great racing. There was even a flip because of a tire malfunction, tire suspension malfunction. Like,
speaking of flip, Chase Beatty's still racing.
Exactly. It's basically the same there. Basically.
And let's see if we can get back to that lead battle here now. We should be able to find a gator here somewhere. There he is. John Peden is your leader right now. Coming up onto the back of, I want to say that was Jason Butler, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And yeah, there was the, oh, no, maybe not. No, I think that's Chase Beatty. So the teals and purples and pinks. Oy, we're not at Homestead, Miami yet.
I wonder how the crowd is after we he was pretty high up.
I mean,
I don't want to get that. I don't want to get too far, but I mean, you know what I'm saying.
I mean, just to look at that little grandstand, it looked like there was some virtual social distancing happening there. I don't know. Well, maybe not so much there, but that other smaller grandstand as we come through to complete another lap. Again, Peden's still your leader. And let's just see if there's, oh no, that's a conversation about something else. Nothing related to the race chat. Yeah, I thought we might have been getting a text update on that little flip that we saw earlier, because again, we only saw it. We didn't really get the context. Someone tried to explain it, but I think we were talking over it. So we'll just, again, try and settle things down here a little bit. 11 laps remaining in stage number 2.
Yeah, there's a little more separation compared to the first stage, as Peden's got quite the distance. Who was in second?
This is the 2-3 battle here.
Okay, yeah, Higginbottom and Darcy Ford. That's the one battle that's happening here up in the with the lead cars. And then back in fourth place is Jose Mercado.
At least it would appear that way. I'm just trying to get a
I'm pretty sure
there on the rear view.
I saw kind of an orange and blackish. So,
and yeah, we're down to the final 10 laps here of stage number 2. And again, it's Ford running in third, as you say. I think it's Mercado in fourth. Let's see if I can go.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Oops. Yep, there's the confirmation. So 41 running in fourth as we bring it back to our regular camera here. I think that's Nickens in fifth, Nelson sixth, Jameson P7.
Yeah, it looks like Nickens got by Nelson in some form there.
Yeah, might have just kind of gotten a shallow route out of turn 4 toward the start finish.
Yeah, a bit of a slide. It could have been a bit of a slide up. Oh.
And yeah, we're getting word as 1/10 a lap. We're down to 9 laps remaining. So 9/10 on second place, 9 laps to go. If we've got our math right, we could be in for a showdown here toward the end of this stage once again.
Still plenty of laps.
And lap traffic coming into play once again.
As long as Butler probably gets out of the way this time around.
Hey. And he is going high.
Hey, you've said some stuff, I've said some stuff. It's no disrespect.
No,
obviously.
not at all. We're all having some fun here. There's the word.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah.
And I mean,
Huh?
No, go ahead.
Well, to be fair, in the first stage, it was more like pack racing. So that's the thing with these lap cars. I might have made the wrong assumption there. Like it might have been a wrong joke because maybe he had nowhere to go. Because if you try to go 3 wide and especially turns 3 and 4 and coming off that exit, especially with how the car can react depending on what groove you are in. Yeah, it really depends, and you go ahead with what you were saying.
Well, no, all I was gonna say is I know we've been joking and kind of taking some rips at some guys here tonight, but again, A, it's all in good fun. B, all these guys they've been super classy all the way through, so they're good. So we're back here, and speaking of good, Jonathan Peden proven to be more than good here, but that lead is shrinking.
Yeah, look, I was seeing some stuff there between Cudmore, I believe that was I'm going to assume Brandon Reed by the colors, but I might be wrong. I saw some car with Cudmore there.
And let's just see. We'll stay with
Yes,
this
it
lead
is.
battle. And yeah, good call on the 36 there. But again, we've got the top three separated here by less than half a second. Jonathan Peden looking to hold on for the stage win. And Ty Higginbotham and Darcy Ford looking to come right in. 4 laps to go now. And Peden doing a pretty good job of gap control here, it has to be said.
Yeah, but the thing is, Higginbotham and Ford are pretty close together, so maybe I don't know, maybe they work together. Although the thing is, they're not teammates, so maybe Higginbotham's trying to do his own thing, or maybe he's letting Peden go, trying to block off Darcy. Nope, I should not have said that. I was just thinking that's a potential idea, but no.
Hey,
it.
I know we've talked about this as we're down to 3 to go. We've asked both guys about that, as a matter of fact. Higginbotham and Peden, they both said, if there's a stage win to be had, every man for himself. And I think you're seeing that play out.
You gotta respect that. It's racing, and we've got 3 lap cars. We got the 2 Cudmores. We got Brandon Reed. They might want to go high. You might want to go high here.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Darcy immediately pulls back. That's, I guess you call that a respectful move. Although I don't know what Dan Cudmore has in mind.
Well, they're not quite close enough. 2 remaining now in this second stage.
At least when they do catch up, yeah, there it comes right there.
And yeah, Peden coming up on the back of Dan Cudmore here. Higginbotham looking to close that gap. Ford losing a little bit of touch with Higginbotham there in 3rd. They'll see the white flag for this stage this time around. Higginbotham gets past Cudmore here. Ford will do the same as they see the white flag. I would say if Peden can jump Reed here, say it would make it awfully tough for either P2 or P3 to get him, because they still have to make the pass as they come down the back straight for the last time in this stage anyway. Peden getting a little bit of a draft off Reed. Smart idea. As they come through turns 3 and 4, Higginbotham might have a look up top, but it's not going to be quite close enough. Oh, I said that, but Peden hangs on. He takes stage 2. That's his 3rd stage win of the year, on top of that 1 stage win, or 1 race win, of course. So that's another playoff point in the bank for the 53.
Calmer than the stage 1 finish, but we probably could have needed this, because our voices were going through the roof, probably peaking at best a little while ago.
Yep. No, I would agree with that. And yeah, we're halfway through Regan.
We made it.
Yeah, we're not quite Bon Jovi-ing it, but we are halfway there, just about. Hey, if we weren't going to get hit with copyright for that, hell, go for it.
Just literally say the lyrics and then it's just, copyright strike.
Yeah. All right, so we do have our top 10 for stage number 2 as we bring it back. It looks like after maybe some pit stops, Higginbotham will start stage 3 with the lead.
Is there not an inside-outside line decision?
I know Higginbotham had inside lane when he was on pole. I don't know if that applies to later stages.
Either way, they're the top 2.
And just as they were in stage number 2. Peden with the stage win, as you saw. Higginbotham.
Oh, there's a car on the wall back there. Mike Nickens tapped the outside wall, and that's going to cause some...
a little bit of an accordion there by the looks of it.
A bit of shambles towards the back, but it looks like everyone's keeping it together. There were some cars kind of all over the place.
Indeed so, but it looks like Higginbotham's holding on to... Or no, that's Peden who's going to have the lead up top, but Higginbotham has the inside line through 1 and 2. And he'll get the good drive out of the turn. And he'll emerge in the lead. Darcy Ford looking to make a move on the inside. And he might find himself up in P2 by the end of this, but Peden might get a push from Nickens here as well. And yeah, we've got a pack of about 8 or 9 in the opening couple laps here of stage number 3. And again, leading the pack here is tonight's pole sitter, Ty Higginbotham, with Ford coming through, trying to get that good drive, but Peden's going to emerge ahead. As we'll stay with this lead pack, we'll get right into the middle of it here with Leo Jamieson running in 6th. And there you can see just how tightly contested this already is as Ford goes through the grass. And he holds on, he saves it. And just a little bit late on getting to the Discord race control for that.
Like that.
Yeah, did not like that. I do not blame you, 64.
I thought I heard a weird car noise there. I thought a wreck was going on, to be honest.
Well, I think it might have been Darcy Ford's just going through the grass.
Bit of a scare.
Indeed, he does hold on though, as we're with Leo Jamieson still again running in 6th. But we'll go a little bit further up. John Peden, Stage 2 winner, running in 2nd now. Darcy Ford, nice recovery to get back up into 3rd after that brief brush through the grass. And Peden looking to hold a decent line here behind Higginbotham.
Darcy Ford tried to make a block on Nickens, but Nickens has the speed here coming for 3rd place as he gets a push from Jose Mercado.
Yes. So
here comes Jamieson on Mercado.
Oh, for God's sakes. Here we go. Almost 3 wide out of turn 2. Man, oh man. The trust that these guys have to have in one another to actually race like that, though. It's been something to watch here. And again, we're only a little over halfway through tonight's race as we stay with the lead pack. Bob Drew III hanging in there as he, I do believe, is 6th, fitting for car number 6. And yeah, he's certainly holding on here. Mercado kind of shuffling back to 7th. Corbin McCauley holding on to that lead pack as well. He's 8th. As we will continue our trek through, well, I guess it's the trek through the lead pack right now. Mercado now in P7. And again, we've seen that little cluster just kind of push away from everybody once again in stage number 3. Kind of a similar recipe to what we've seen in the opening couple stages here tonight. As we will continue along here to Jacob Nelson, who I believe is at the head of that first pursuit pack, 9 and 9th. That makes sense. Maybe a little bit of pressure here coming from either Travis Tyson or Hunter Young, but they're more running side by side as opposed to a draft. But I think Young might have tagged the wall there a little bit, and that allows Tyson to get up into 10th. As we'll check in now on Chase Beatty, who's got the car on 4 wheels now, or 4 wheels on the asphalt here again. After, again, his little episode that we saw there earlier. But again, somehow he's hanging on here, trying to get onto the back of the 14 of Dan Mattiello. But obviously it goes without saying, when you see a car just kind of randomly flying through the screen like that, race might be compromised just a little bit. As I think we'll be going back to our lead pack now, as I think our next car is Darcy Ford. Yes, it is. And, well, I say going back to the lead pack, he's getting swallowed up by a secondary pack here. Ford holding on to 3rd. Higginbotham still the leader. Peden in 2nd. But Jamieson trying to lead that kind of secondary pack as that cluster of 8s even split up a little bit too.
Yeah, Higginbotham and Peden have put on a decent distance over Ford as Leo Jamieson tries to catch up the best he can, but he's trying to block off Nickens there as well. There's a bit of wall contact there, it appears, from Peden, but it doesn't look to affect him that much. Yeah, just running to the absolute edges. 36 laps remaining here in the stage. And, well, let's go back to the lead battle here just a little while longer. And we will, again, get through a little bit more of the field as we go along here. It's nice to have a little bit more time to do that in these stages, certainly. But, yeah, we'll continue our little trek here now as they complete another lap. 35 to go in the stage. Jonathan War coming through now in the number 29. And if my math is right, I saw Hunter Young there, so that would put War in 12th from what I'm seeing.
And Janikowski trying to get to the back of him. And War, he's another one of those guys who was very much in the thick of that race for those couple playoff spots, or last couple playoff spots like we were talking about a little bit earlier. So this has got to be an encouraging run for the 29, at least to this point in the race.
For sure.
As we'll continue along here, well, we'll get to the other half of that battle, the 93 of Tom Janikowski out of Appleton, Wisconsin, and a fellow JMW driver. So these are a couple of teammates potentially coming together for a battle. So Janikowski would be in 13th then, but not quite close enough to War to make that move just yet, with Reggie Kime and Andy Hurdle off in the distance in 14th and 15th respectively. As we'll move along now to Corbin McCauley. He's sandwiched between Jose Mercado and Bob Drew III, so that would put him in 8th. Or is it 7th?
Yeah, I believe that's more like 1, 2, 3, 5.
That's 7th.
7th, yes.
Okay.
7th.
I mean, after I kind of hacked on him earlier, I better get it right if it's one position better, right? So let's give McCauley the positive vibes here as he tries to navigate his way past Mercado, as I think Ford may have had a little bit of a touch there on, I think it's Nickens. So Ford falling down to, I believe, 5th now. As we'll continue along now to Hunter Young, continuing to battle with Travis Tyson. These two have been kind of frequent partners. 31 laps remaining in stage 3. And Young running in 11th right now. And again, looking to find a way past Tyson to get himself into the top 10. But nothing coming as of yet. Thought he might have a run out of 3. Or 3 into 4, I guess. But nevertheless, Tyson holds on to the position. And we'll just go right to him, I guess. Just, again, the nature of the camera work here in NASCAR Heat. As Tyson, as you may have guessed, in 10th place. And a nice little return to form here, it has to be said, for the 87. A couple of races that I'm sure he'd love to have positioned himself a little bit better. But again, running in the top 10 tonight.
Yeah, quiet, but he's still one of those top drivers in the rookie standings, especially. So, yeah, just running pretty conservatively.
Yeah, he was a contender for that win at Daytona in the season opener, certainly.
Oh, yes.
Just kind of got caught up in something in the 3rd stage there, and it just hasn't quite gone to plan since. But speaking of guys who've had quiet runs of form, Mike Nickens, we're with him now. He's running in 5th. And looks like he's a guy who might be kind of rounding into form here. We talked about it a little bit earlier. And, you know, certainly proving himself to have some speed around this 1.5 miles. As he looks for a move on Ford here. Jamison moving up into 3rd, by the way, as the other 2 Tornado Alley drivers, Higginbotham and Peden, have gotten themselves a little bit of separation here. And Jamison, I don't think that's a block job or a hold up to let his teammates build up a bit of a gap ahead, but still appears to be competitive racing nonetheless. As we will move along here again to Mike Marini, not having the night that he's wanted to have so far, as I have him pegged at around 16th here. Beatty with some front end getting fixed up after what happened in stage 2. And a couple of Eclipse guys looking to maybe push their way up a little bit further in the standings. But as we talked about a little bit earlier, Regan, while we have seen some pack battles, a little bit of separation happening here as well. As
It's like we all wasted it in the first stage, kind of in a way, if you think about it.
Yeah, first stage was obviously eventful. Most of stage 2 certainly was, as well as I think Hurdle might be going into pit lane, or definitely a weave there.
I mean, that's kind of an early spot to try and go for pit lane. Well,
yeah, there he is. So
yeah, that'd be the spot where it is, and it looks like the pit window has opened. Especially, it looks like for more of the the back end driver, the middle of the pack drivers.
Mid-pack, yeah.
Midfield.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're getting the word now. Leaders are going to pit.
Yes, so
soon.
We're right in that pit window. So I think you're seeing the carnage of other disconnections here as well as we go back on track with Reggie Kime. And, yeah, that's Travis Tyson coming in. I think he stayed out an extra lap in relation to Hunter Young. I think we saw the 20 go in a lap earlier. And that's around where the mid-pack went in, and the leaders basically followed suit as soon as they came around. So, again, we're going to be kind of in that window where we're trying to figure out, like, who's positioned where after this round of stops. But certainly, I think we're probably looking at, if nothing else, an interesting finish to the stage as Kime comes in. Dan Mattiello making his way back out. Higginbotham leaving pit lane, as is Darcy Ford. And again, we'll stay with the 14 here, the JMW driver out of Warwick, New York. And Mattiello, he's another guy who I believe is on the outside looking in playoff-wise right now. Yeah, down in 24th, so he must have missed a race in there somewhere. Or perhaps had a disconnection along the way. I'd have to look back to be sure. But yeah, again, we're coming up to the halfway point of the regular season. We're actually there tonight. So really, for those guys who are kind of in that kind of bottom part of the standings, not really a whole lot more room for error at this point.
Yeah, exactly. You got to get on your game now because we're getting closer to the playoffs. Time's ticking.
And this is a interesting sight here. So I think we speculated on it in stage one. I think AJ Knickel did, in fact, disconnect whenever he, I think, got into Chase Beatty in pit lane. I think it may have led to a disconnection. No movement there from the 47. That's usually the giveaway. As we check in now on Brandon Reed, the number 36 out of Fort Worth, Texas. And Reed is another guy who's kind of on the outside looking in, 19th in the standings, of course. Well, not that it would have affected anything anyway. I didn't put in the stage 2 results here yet, which I should probably do since, that was a little while ago now. So, yeah, as a quick recap on that, well, we'll make our way around here. Kevin Daigle with the disconnect by the looks of it. Jason Butler kind of running his own race here right now. Maybe Dan Cudmore trying to get to the back. And matter of fact, we'll stay with that just for a little bit as they come to the end of the back straight into turns 3 and 4. 20 laps remaining. And yeah, I'm not oh, Butler into the wall there. Yes, so yeah, a little bit of numerical confusion there. We figured it was the 53 of John Peden in second behind Ty Higginbotham. So really, as we get back to the head of the field here, there's your leader, tonight's pole sitter, Ty Higginbotham. Really, it doesn't sound like a whole lot changed in pit lane.
No, not really. It's kind of a two-car battle here between Higginbotham and Peden. Darcy Ford and Leo Jameson have a bit of a gap behind them for third and fourth place.
Indeed they do.
But we still got under 20 laps to go here for them to catch up, as it looks like Peden is going to try and give a battle for the lead. They are side by side as they come across the line. Ty Higginbotham does lead that lap.
He leads the lap, but I don't think he's leading out of turn 1.
Peden it looked like Peden forced him up maybe just a little bit, and he clears him away. He's the new leader.
Hey, all's fair on the track, right? As John Peden moves up into the lead, and he did pick up the stage win in stage number 2 over the man who's in second right now, his teammate Ty Higginbotham, with again Darcy Ford coming home third in that stage. Jose Mercado was fourth. 17 laps remaining in stage number 3. Rounding out the top 5, Leo Jameson. And Mike Nickens picking up a nice little haul here in 6th, getting himself a nice little bit of separation in terms of playoff breathing room. Obviously very early to be thinking about that, but every point helps. as we see Jacob Nelson came home in 7th, as he did in stage 1. Reggie Kime grabbing a few points here. That'll help his cause out as he finishes 8th in that second stage. Corbin McCauley grabs another couple, and Bob Drew, the 3rd, rounded out the top 10. So we'll go ahead and do some background math here, as we've been doing. But nothing background here about what you're seeing on track. This is a center stage battle here between Peden and Higginbotham.
We might want to check out the battle back for 3rd place there between Jameson and Ford, and Mike Nickens is even in there. It's a 3-car battle there. Thing is, if they want to catch up to those 2 cars of Higginbotham and Peden, they're going to have to get together and figure something out instead of battling and dropping themselves back and back.
And I mean, if they're going to make the move, we're looking at about 15 laps to go, somewhere in that ballpark. I probably wouldn't leave it too long, quite honestly, given the speeds that Higginbotham and Peden are putting down.
Yeah.
As we will, again, continue to watch that battle 3 through 5. Jameson holds 3rd right now. Nickens up into 4th in what appears to be his best run of the season so far, with Ford running in the top 5. Sounds like Corbin McCauley might be out of this one. And yeah, that sounds like he may have had a disconnect there. So not the way the 17 wanted his night to end. He might still be alive here. He said his game crashed. Very interesting discussion we're hearing. Probably not, I mean, not for anything bad, just probably not the thing we'd push live right away. We'd just kind of let that happen.
The luck is just not there for him these past couple of races. I mean, Daytona, he got screwed over by a couple of incidents. Auto Club, he didn't even show up because of personal stuff. Canadian Tire, he looked like he had the speed, like he even led a couple laps and was mostly kind of around 2nd, 3rd, like top 5. Yeah. Around the top 5, had the pace there. But some stuff just happened and it really wasn't able to come to fruition for him. And then at Iowa, he actually looked like he had pace, but again, nothing was able to come to fruition there as well. And then here at Charlotte, like he has shown speed at the start of these stages, but as the laps go on, it's just nothing has really worked out for him. And now the worst has happened, and man, it's just been it's been a rough couple of races here for the driver's sibling.
I mean, I'm not sure if I'd say 2nd place was nothing happening at Iowa, but I get what you're saying.
Oh yeah,
but no, I get what you were saying from the couple of weeks earlier.
Okay, now I remember
10
that.
laps remaining. And
I was in the 2nd place, yes. Yeah. He had the speed, but just the win
just hasn't been consistent.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
No,
yeah.
I knew what you were saying.
Yeah.
And while we figure out what we're going to say, we'll continue to watch this lead battle between Peden and Higginbotham. And now that we've got 9 laps to go, we'll be updating this in a few minutes, but here's your updated standings here right now. John Peden extends the lead, obviously, with the stage victory. Jameson 2nd. Higginbotham there in 3rd. Beatty 4th. So, again, your 4 winners there. Mercado on points is only 2 back of Peden overall, but, again, no win. That puts him P5. Darcy Ford, after a bit of a quiet start to the season, has worked his way up into 6th. AJ Knickel, he's going to fall down the board a little bit further with the disconnection a little bit earlier in the evening. Mike Marini kind of hanging around there in 8th, usually where we find him toward the end of the season. Bob Drew the 3rd, crawling up the board there into 9th, and Corbin McCauley, he got himself into the top 10. Obviously, probably won't pick up any stage points here tonight, and the finish will obviously be affected as we continue to watch this. Well, we'll switch back to the 3-4 battle here. Looks like they've dropped Darcy Ford a little bit. Have Jameson and Nickens. As we, again, we'll take a look at kind of the bubble picture here once again, and really not a whole lot changing there by the looks of things. As again, we'll bring it down again with a particular focus on positions 14 through 18, and again, just a 5-point gap between those 5 spots. Maybe if I move down a couple more cells, you'll actually be able to see that. There we go. Yeah, 14 through 18. There, you can see it. So War in 14th with 90 points. And yeah, Janikowski in 18th, 85. Hey, there's going to be some battling here.
For sure. Still got another stage to go.
Another stage, another 5 races in the regular season. Things are going to get very interesting here.
Oh,
and just as things are getting interesting at the head of the field, Higginbotham may be forcing Peden into a pick there with Darcy Cudmore, but they both get by him.
Higginbotham clears his way. He's now back to the lead. Oh, Peden's trying to get the side draft off of the left quarter panel there of
Peden might have a decent run here into turn 3.
How many laps to go?
It'll be 4 at the line.
4 line, all right.
And yeah, the 2 Tornado Alley guys just trading blows here. 4 laps remaining in the stage. And
keeping it close.
Yeah, Higginbotham briefly holding on to the lead, but Peden might get a better run out of turn 2. Although they're basically level on the track here. Peden might have a run again here through 3 and 4. That seems like where that 53 is strongest. And yeah, this is riveting stuff here.
Yeah, Peden let the lap, but just barely, because Higginbotham did have that run on the outside. That's the thing. If they're side by side coming off of turn 4 for that green and white checker flag, the outside line's going to most likely have the pace. And see right there, like it's the turn exits in particular where the outside will prevail.
And it's going to be 2 to go at the line, and the 2 Tornado Alley guys continuing this absolute slugfest here at the end of stage 3.
This is kind of causing, you can see there
2 to go.
It's kind of seeing Leo Jameson and I believe that was Mike Nickens are actually starting to catch up.
Yeah, but will they have the time though?
Yeah, it's probably not going to be enough, but who knows?
Just a little bit too late there perhaps, but again, you never know. It doesn't look like they're coming up on lap traffic, but again, these 2 just continue to battle. It looks like Peden has the nose out in front, coming out of 4.
Almost a slide by Higginbotham as we reach the white flag. Those 2 are actually catching up. It probably won't be enough, but they are catching.
Yeah, there's Jameson in 3rd. Nickens tucked in right behind him.
They did touch. He's up high. Peden might be able to clear him here. He does.
Indeed he does, and again, we've seen that car be strong through turns 3 and 4, so this might be an uphill battle for Ty Higginbotham at the end of the stage.
It looks like it's not going to be enough. Nope. Jonathan Peden.
That is consecutive stage wins here for the number 53 of Jonathan Peden out of Pensacola, Florida. Ty Higginbotham 2nd. Leo Jameson comes home 3rd. Mike Nickens 4th. Darcy Ford rounds out your top 5. We'll give you the rest of the top 10 as soon as we have it. And from there, we're going to have, for the only time this season, Stage 4. And
how much more of this can we take?
Well, the answer to that better be 51 laps, because that's what we've got in Stage 4. And again, we're looking at 1 green flag pit stop in that stage. Ultimately, I mean, we didn't see a whole lot of movement in the Stage 3 stops, but I mean, I think you might want to take a few more chances in the name of a potential race win.
Exactly.
But it's all in the hands of the drivers here now as we're waiting for Stage 4 to begin. And getting word that everyone pitted. Somebody didn't pit. I didn't quite catch the number.
Jameson, maybe?
Yeah, certainly he got up into 2nd. As we are back live here in the 4th and final stage of tonight's Racing Carolina 300. As, again, it defaults back to pole sitter Ty Higginbotham. Camera-wise, he starts the stage in 3rd. And it's Jonathan Peden leading the way. Leo Jameson 2nd. Darcy Ford in 4th. And Mike Nickens rounds out the top 5. A lot of familiar names right up there at the top.
A lot of familiar, obvious names up there. They've been They've been the ones that have shown up tonight, so it could be any one of them, though.
Yeah, and I mean, there's probably a couple of guys a little further down the field that might fancy their chances. War went into the wall there, though. Looked like nobody came out any worse for wear, thankfully. You wouldn't want to see that right at the beginning of the final stage. But what you do want to see is some good, hard racing here, and I think that's what we're going to see over the next 49 to 50 laps.
Well, the thing is that that pit window, though, is still going to happen. The question is, are we going to get the stage 1 situation? They all somehow manage to come packed together and we get like a bunch of cars going for it? Or is it going to be kind of like the stage 2? You're praying.
Yeah.
Or are we going to kind of get like a stage 2 or more say 3 situation where it might be only like a 2 or 3 car battle?
Yeah, I think
I'm personally praying with you we get the stage 1, but who knows?
In the name of race win, I feel like there are going to be maybe a few more chances taken, but we got to see it all play out here as we'll move to Leo Jameson in second place, tucked behind race leader Jonathan Peden. Again, winner of the last 2 stages here tonight is the 53. And again, Ty Higginbotham right there, winner in Season 2 at Charlotte. 4th place, Darcy Ford, winner of Season 1 in Charlotte. So, guys who know how to get it done here. Right at the end of this kind of grind, as I don't really think there's a much better word for it. You called it a marathon earlier, but definitely a grind adding this 4th stage into things.
Oh yeah, these drivers...
As Ford tries to make a move.
These drivers have been able to stay sane. And us too, surprisingly, as well.
Well, I think that part's debatable as Ford and Nickens make contact. As I think Ford had the move done. So I'm not sure if Nickens might have gotten the nose in there, but I do know that he got sideways into the grass.
You were saying about the sane stuff there? Debatable?
Well, I mean, we were. Or, no, we weren't. That's, I guess, what I was getting at. Well, there's the way that we know that we're losing our sanity too. We don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But we can tell you again, your top 4 as you see them on track. Peden, Jameson, Ford. That's Nickens into the wall again.
Still getting in the wall.
Yeah,
trouble for him, man.
And that I think happened. I want to say in one of the earlier races this season as well. Maybe Auto Club. Yeah, because he got disconnected from Daytona, so...
Mercado moves Jameson up for 3rd place there. He's going to clear him.
Yeah.
An interesting move there.
And a guy we talked about a little bit earlier, but we didn't really say much about him later on. Jacob Nelson up there in 6th. He's a guy that, again, if he hangs around, he can be a factor at the end as well.
Correct.
As we will... probably stay with this lead battle. Matter of fact, our leader. Oh, and this is a juicy one. The 2 main combatants for last year's Earl Ross Cup. John Peden, your race leader. Darcy Ford, of course, the defending series champion in 2nd. And these 2 battled right down to the line in Las Vegas last year. Oh my goodness, what a finish that was. With Ford ultimately overtaking him there with 1 lap to go. Could we see a repeat here tonight? As we see, again, a pack of 6 kind of separating themselves.
A little bit of shuffling there. Here comes Ford down on Peden. It looked like Peden had a bit of a slide up there going through turns 3 and 4. And Darcy Ford is going to clear him, and I believe those his first time leading?
I think so.
Yeah.
And Jameson also got by. Peden, I think, is going to get shuffled toward the back of this line. And ultimately, he slots back in 4th. Again, Darcy Ford is your race leader tonight, or right now anyway, as we look in on Bob Drew III running in 7th, just behind this lead pack, getting a little bit of a push from behind there from Nickens, who's looking to make up for lost time. But Reggie Kime looking to get in there as well. I would say he probably didn't pit if I had to guess, and so he is P9. And we'll bring it back to the lead pack now. Jose Mercado running in 5th. Nelson getting onto the back of him here. Just to make that lead pack a full-on 6 again. And Ford continues to lead. Jameson had a thought about maybe going inside on turn 1.
It looked like Higginbottom actually hit the wall there coming into turn 1.
Yeah, your eyes would be better than mine in this case. I didn't quite pick up on that, but Higginbottom's still running in a comfortable third. Very much part of this lead pack. As we will stay with that lead pack, get to the back of it as a matter of fact with Jacob Nelson. There he is at the tail. And there you see the distance between himself and race leader Darcy Ford. Spoiler, there's not much as we saw Mercado touch the wall right ahead. And that's a good angle of just the level of control these guys have to have. Because, I mean, once you get into that draft, it doesn't get much easier to control it there either. Because, I mean, the speed would go up and you might get a little bit loose is the thought. As we will bring it back to the main camera and briefly check in on Chase Beatty, who, again...
How is that car intact? I guess in the real life circumstances, in the real life sense, perspective.
Gotta love them video game physics.
Oh, yeah.
As we... Oh, he's going door to door here with Janikowski, though. I think they may have actually touched. But just a little soft bump. And Beatty trying to follow his Eclipse teammate Tyson, and it looks like he's going to get through and get the move done. As, Janikowski a little bit squirrely out of 4. And we'll go ahead and bring it up to our race leader once again, Darcy Ford in the 64. And it was, I believe it was actually Charlotte where he picked up his first win in the Canadian eMotorsports Network.
Back in 2020?
Back in 2020, yes. Not sure if he got one before that or not. I know he did get Charlotte that year, but as I say, I couldn't remember if he got one right before that or not. I think he went back to back, and I know Charlotte was one of them. I just can't remember if the second was before or after this.
Yeah.
But certainly there's nobody coming before Darcy Ford right now, although Leo Jameson's trying to change that.
Swirly there.
Yeah, Ford.
Still train.
Yeah, he's going to hold on to that bottom line. And yeah, he is keeping the foot to the floor basically here as he leads the pack through to begin another lap. And again, it's pack of 6 here. Like we've talked plenty about, what do you do for pit stops? Do you see the 6 coming in together? Do you see anyone taking a chance out of this group?
I based on the way this race has gone, I don't think I even want to estimate.
That's the correct answer.
And here comes Jameson looking for the lead, getting a push from Higginbottom there on the inside.
Oh, I thought they were going 3 wide there for a second, but it looks like Jameson got that inside line. As you say, Higginbottom getting a push, or giving a push. And Ford, well, he's fighting it, but he doesn't have a push there on that outside line. So Ford just desperately trying to slot back in here somewhere. And looks like, door to door with Nelson there. Looks like Ford will just slot to the back of that line in 6th.
I mean, that was really the only option he kind of had, to be honest, unless someone else managed to screw up.
No, hard to find your way back into that line there, as I think Nelson's front might have just kissed the wall there a little bit on the straight.
There's still time, Darcy. There's still plenty of time.
Indeed so, as we try and get that lead battle from a different perspective here. So we'll go 1 car ahead to Jacob Nelson here. Thought Ford was going to push him, but instead Ford's going to try and go inside through turns 1 and 2. And the 64 is going to have the run. He's back up into the top 5. So nice move there from Darcy Ford. Pushes Nelson down into 6th. And again, we'll stay with this battle here. Mercado in 4th. Leo Jameson, your leader.
There seems to be a bit of separation there. The 6 of them were compacted together, but there might have been a bit of a moment with one of them.
No, that's a fair point.
2 of them.
But it looks like Darcy Ford certainly trying to catch the back of that line here in relatively short order. But as you say, a little bit of a gap there. Well, no, as I say that, there he is. And then Nelson trying to do the same thing to make it a pack of 6, and he's effectively done that. So
yeah,
I would suggest at this point that this is probably what we're looking at in terms of your contenders at the end. Just with the sheer distance between them and Mike Nickens there in 7th, half a straightaway basically.
Yeah. And just like that, they're back together in the same old kind of a super speedway looking train.
Almost.
I don't know how they're managing that on the track where you still have to let off in certain areas.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it in the kind of pre-race video, like especially in 3 and 4, a little bit more of a let-off there as opposed to 1 and 2.
That's why I was saying turns 1 and 2 are a little bit easier because it's kind of more of a straight kind of an angle, but then once you get into turns 3 and 4, it gets a little wonky, if that's a way to put it.
No, that's a good way to put it. As we will see it, there's Andy Hurdle. I think he's been the first to pit in a couple of stages here, and we just saw him pull in again. So we must be coming up on that final window here. We haven't really gotten a lap count per se, because a lot of the drivers we would hear from, they're in the thick of that battle as Darcy Cudmore is making his way either out of pit lane or into it. I think in.
Or being nice to the lead cars, because that's been kind of a trend.
It could be that as well. As we see Beatty there once again. We'll try and get a position on the 25 as Tyson heads into pit lane. Hunter Young ahead of him. And I think that was Janikowski in the background going into pit lane as well. So, all right, here we go. We've got leaders coming into pit lane. Ty Higginbotham coming in.
Yeah, a bit of a scramble here. Cars are seemingly backing off.
Let's just see. Higginbotham the first to declare his intent there.
Okay, and we got a couple staying out.
I don't know how many beyond Higginbotham actually went in, to be honest. Mercado's still on track. Nelson's still on track. Jameson's still on track. I think Ford may have also gone in. Going for the undercut.
Yeah, the only Tornado Alley driver that did not come in this time around there was Jonathan Peaton. So maybe he's trying something different.
I think Jameson might have stayed out.
Oh, no, never mind.
Yeah, there he is. There's the 94.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll rephrase that.
No, it's all good. Only driver to come in was Higginbotham.
Yes, that's what I meant to say, yes. I was trying to get that there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's basically the opposite of what I said there.
No,
yeah. But yeah, Higginbotham's the only,
goes, yeah.
Yeah, the only of those three to come in, so I wonder what's up with him. Maybe he's, I don't know, maybe he's doing something on his own.
Maybe confident in the run on the tires here as Jameson's going to stay out for another lap. What's Peaton going to do? I think he came in. Yes, he did. So Leo Jameson's going to be the long man out of this trio.
I mean, the thing is, we've seen, like, he hasn't come out first in any of these situations, at least I believe, but we've seen he's been able to catch up.
Now he's coming in, though.
His speed is absolutely crazy.
22 laps to go, so Jameson, he may have the benefit of the fresh tires here at the end as well.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
As Jameson comes in, Mercado comes in.
Well, that's the thing, with that speed plus those fresh tires, that strategy could easily work right here.
And at the line, it'll be 21 to go as soon as we figure out who our leaders are. Again, we're kind of at that point of the pit windows where we're trying to figure all this out. So, by default, we'll just kind of go back to the pole sitter, Ty Higginbotham, as they just blow by Jonathan Peaton on his pit exit. We'll have to see what kind of an outlap the 53 can put down. But it looks like he may have gotten stuck behind Brandon Reed. Here we'll have to see how quickly he can clear him. And there you see it. Looks like Peaton's going to go on the outside. And that's job done. As Jameson's coming out, 20 laps to go. And if I had to guess, I would suggest this is probably your lead battle here. Higginbotham, Nelson. I assume Jameson comes out in position there, third, fourth, somewhere in that ballpark. Looks like he comes out P4. But again, he'll have a couple laps worth of fresh tires at the end.
Well, the thing is, yeah, it's basically a four-car kind of a thing going on here, but there's also two cars way in the back. I believe it was Darcy Ford and Jonathan Peaton. So we could get those cars come back together here.
Yeah, Pedon's
and there's
one.
other ones as well.
Yeah, Pedon's one. Mercado, I think, is the other, because there's Darcy Ford right in the thick of it in P3. So again, if I had to surmise, it's Higginbotham and Nelson. That's a battle from last year, where I think it was down to those two toward the end of last year's race at Charlotte as well. So we could be seeing history repeat itself here a little bit. And Higginbotham would certainly appreciate the end result since he won that. But again, Darcy Ford's looking for a bit of a return to season 1 fortunes since he won that round of Charlotte. But it looks like we've got a bit of a quartet that separated themselves here in this kind of middle stage of like the final, or middle portion of the final stage of tonight's Racing Carolina 300. And we'll get it from Jameson's point of view here. He's running third. I
believe I made a mistake there about a lap or two ago. I originally said Darcy Ford and Jonathan Pedon. It's actually Mercado and Jonathan Pedon, because Darcy Ford's literally right here, and now
Indeed he is.
Jameson fighting for second place. He's going to clear Jacob Nelson, and it looks like those fresh tires might work out here as he tries to fight up against his teammate Ty Higginbottom.
And he may not waste much time there, and if he gets that clear air, fresh tires,
here he comes.
Maybe he can't lose.
Is he going to try and get there?
Might have a little push from Nelson, but I think he may have given the push to Higginbotham instead, actually.
There he goes.
And yeah, Jameson looking for that low line. Looks like he's going to get it.
Ford may have tapped the wall there a little bit, but my eyes might be deceiving me.
But what's not deceiving you here is Leo Jameson up into the lead in his number 94 Tornado Alley Chevy. And I think, so Ford and Higginbotham, we just saw it as it was just going off screen. I thought I saw the 64 going up. And might have tapped, well, definitely did hit the 97 of Ty Higginbotham. And that could effectively render this a 2-horse race here.
It's not over yet. Relax. Relax.
Hey, I said could. That legally clears me. But right now, Leo Jameson looking at clear track ahead. Jacob Nelson trying to get a run off of him in second. And we talked about those two drivers who were kind of lagging at the back there in the form of Mercado and Pedon. Suddenly, they've got company, and as you mentioned, those four could potentially swallow up these lead two.
Oh yeah, exactly. They could get that bit of a draft or whatever going there. So, again, there's still time. And how many laps to go is there now?
Well, we should get a count here halfway soon, as a number of the drivers who would be reporting that are part of this lead battle, so we'll just have to see. But I would say we're somewhere between 10 and 15 remaining. But again, I can tell you Jameson is leading. Nelson there in second. And it looks like Mercado's moved up into third, Pedon fourth. Higginbotham fifth. Darcy Ford now in sixth. And, I mean, we talked about that 3 through 6 group trying to swallow up the leaders. Top two are really keeping a nice bit of separation as they come up on lap traffic in the form of Jason Butler. And even Jameson building up a little bit of a gap here on Nelson, maybe trying to get a bit of a draft on Butler, but he's going to go low just to stay out of the way of the leaders. And that move's done rather quickly and gracefully, and we continue on. Again, Jameson holding on to the lead, looking for, well, he'd be our first multiple-time winner this season. 10 laps to go. We're just being told by our Discord race control. And so we kind of talked about it in stage 3. If you're that group that's 3 through 6, Reegs, when do you try and make that real push to swallow these top two up? I can't imagine you have to wait much longer.
It's got to be now. It's got to be now. Time is ticking. These laps are going by pretty fast. We're literally like
9 to go now.
Well, yeah, it's we're already here at the fourth stage. We are now here at 9 laps to go. So time's ticking. It's got to be now.
Indeed it is, and it looks like Darcy Ford's kind of fallen off that secondary pack a little bit, so it's effectively 5 right now with Darcy Ford not having anyone to go with.
Nelson's getting close.
He is. Jacob Nelson looking to maybe do something here on Jameson, as it's 8 remaining now. Not quite close enough here, but maybe Jacob Nelson just kind of biding his time a little bit. And potentially, if he's able to keep it clean over the next few laps, maybe try something with 2 or 3 to go and then just hold on for dear life.
Who knows?
But again, it feels like Jameson would have the tire advantage out of these two. Although, I think they may have actually came in around the same time, as we're down to 7 remaining, I believe. It was about a 1 or 2 lap difference between that lead group of 5 or 6. Jameson was definitely one of the last to stay out. And again, we talked about the potential tire advantage. It's working. As Jameson holds on here through turns 3 and 4. It'll be 6 remaining here at the line. And again, your top 5, Leo Jameson, Jacob Nelson, Jose Mercado 3rd, Jonathan Peden 4th, Ty Higginbotham in 5th. And again, for all our talking about just how long this broadcast was going to go, again, it's not maybe as bad as I quite thought.
Well, yeah,
speed.
I was personally assuming about 2 hours-ish, but the thing is, though, we got to obviously count the pre-race show as well.
We do.
So it's just under 2 hours for sure.
Yep.
5 to go.
5 remaining, as you say. We get that word from race control. Jameson still holding on to the lead as they come up on Darcy Cudmore here ahead in the number 75 Winston Racing Group Ford. And Darcy's been pretty good at letting the leaders just kind of float by
and
here.
I think Nelson might have had some trouble there off the exit. That might have possibly... That might do it,
That
maybe.
could be gem done, as you say. As we're down to 4 remaining. Look, as you say, it looked like he got a little bit loose out of turn 4. We'll have to see what kind of a run the number 9 can get to perhaps close up that gap. And it'll be 3 remaining at the line. Speaking of 3 through 5, they're making a last-ditch effort, but Mercado into the wall. As we're down to, what did I say, we're 3 laps left now. Again, Jameson holding on here. It's his race effectively to lose right now. Effectively matching the line that Nelson takes. And again, Jameson looking in pretty solid control of that number 94. As it'll be 2 remaining at the line. And there it goes. We got a pretty sizable gap here for Jameson as Higginbotham and Peden try to catch up. So that's 3 Tornado Alley drivers in the top 4. They started all in the top 3. 1, 3, and 4. If that's where they end up, that's, pretty good bang for the buck. As Jameson comes through turn 4, he's going to see the white flag this time around. And we are on to the final lap right about now of tonight's Racing Carolina 300. Leo Jameson hanging on here. What would be his 2nd win of the season if he's able to hold it. Jacob Nelson trying his best to get it back. I think he's just going to run out of real estate here, though.
There might be a good battle there for 3rd place in the back if we could just barely catch it.
Yeah, we'll go back to it just here for a second, but we'll get Jameson going across the line.
This opportunity. Leo Jameson, 2 wins on the season. He wins the Racing Carolina 300s.
And he celebrates with a spin.
And getting hit.
I mean, I've heard of doing donuts. That might be a little bit earlier, and it's just absolute demolition derby in the back here now. But the important thing for the number 94, he got across the line when he needed to.
Oh, yes.
Basically just kind of let her go after that. That is...
With the speed he's shown throughout this whole race, that strategy of staying out and capitalizing on the fresh tires, I personally had the feeling that was going to prevail. on his end, and it worked perfectly here, and he is able to endure tonight the most, the best.
And as we say, he's the first multiple-time race.